Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that life is a vast ocean. Waves crash around you, storms rage, and the winds of doubt push you off course. But deep inside there is a voice, a quiet, unwavering whisper that says, "Keep moving, keep going, you are meant to rise." Today, I want you to feel that voice inside you. Because, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how heavy the load, no matter how steep the mountain, no matter how dark the night, you must keep going. Within each of us exists a quiet, unassuming presence, a voice that speaks not in shouts or demands, but in gentle nudges and whispers of encouragement. This inner voice is not bound by circumstances or the opinions of others. It is a reflection of your deepest self, a spark of resilience that refuses to be extinguished. Often, life's storms can be so overwhelming that we are tempted to ignore this voice, to silence it beneath the weight of doubt, fear, or despair. Yet it is precisely in these moments, when everything around us seems chaotic or uncertain, that the inner voice becomes most crucial. It is the compass that guides us when external directions fail, the steady hand that reminds us of our capacity to endure and to rise. When you are faced with challenges that feel insurmountable, the mind may focus on what is lacking, on every obstacle and limitation. But if you pause, if you tune into this inner presence, it will offer a different perspective, one not of defeat, but of possibility. It will remind you that you are capable of more than you often give yourself credit for, that every setback is temporary, and that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Listening to this voice requires trust. Trust in yourself and in the process of life itself. It is not always loud or immediate, and it may take practice to distinguish it from the noise of fear or external pressure. But with attention and awareness, you begin to recognize its subtle guidance, its persistent insistence that you keep moving forward. This voice does not promise that the journey will be easy, nor does it guarantee a life free of obstacles. Instead, it encourages endurance, reminding you that persistence is an act of courage, and that every time you heed its call, you are strengthening a part of yourself that is indestructible. By honoring this inner whisper, you create a dialogue with your highest self, a continuous reinforcement of faith in your abilities and purpose. It teaches patience in struggle, resilience in failure, and hope in the face of uncertainty. Over time, the more you listen, the more your life begins to align with this persistent inner guide, and you discover that the power to overcome challenges has been within you all along life, has a way of presenting obstacles that feel unfair, overwhelming, or impossible to navigate. At first glance, these challenges may seem like roadblocks, interruptions to your plans, or even punishments for mistakes you may have made. Yet if you take a step back and shift your perspective, you begin to see that every challenge carries within it a hidden invitation, an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to awaken qualities within yourself that otherwise might remain dormant. Challenges are not designed to break you. They are designed to reveal the strength, resilience, and potential that already exist inside you. When faced with difficulty, it is natural to focus on discomfort, frustration, or fear, but doing so can blind you to the lesson embedded within the experience. Every struggle, whether it comes in the form of loss, disappointment, or unexpected change, is an open door to self-discovery. The invitation may not be obvious at first. It may require patience, reflection, and a willingness to look beyond surface-level discomfort. Often, the lesson is not about the situation itself, but about your response to it, the way you choose to navigate uncertainty, remain steadfast in your values, and continue moving forward despite fear or doubt. Embracing challenges as invitations means recognizing that life is not simply a series of random events, but a carefully orchestrated set of experiences meant to shape your character and refine your purpose. The process may be uncomfortable, and the path may be steep, but every step taken with courage strengthens your ability to face future obstacles with grace. By approaching difficulties in this way, you transform adversity from something to resist into something to engage with consciously, to learn from, and to ultimately transcend. This shift in perspective changes not only how you experience hardship, but also how you understand yourself. Each challenge becomes a mirror, reflecting back the aspects of your character that are ready to evolve, the resilience you may not have realized you possessed, and the courage that emerges only when circumstances demand it. Understanding challenges as invitations is about cultivating awareness, faith, and trust that there is meaning in every experience. Even when that meaning is not immediately clear, persistence is one of the most powerful forces a human being can cultivate. It is the quiet, unyielding determination to move forward, even when the path is steep, the obstacles appear insurmountable, and the results seem far away. Too often, people measure their strength by moments of ease, by times when success comes quickly, or challenges are minimal. But true strength is revealed not in comfort, but in the ability to persist when everything within and around you urges you to stop. Persistence is the bridge between dreams and reality, the steady rhythm that transforms vision into accomplishment. Every great achievement, every story of triumph, is rooted in the refusal to quit. It is the repeated act of getting up after falling, the decision to try again when the first attempt failed, the courage to continue walking forward even when progress seems invisible. To embrace persistence is to recognize that setbacks are not endings, but pauses, opportunities to adjust, learn, and return stronger. It is the understanding that life does not demand perfection. It demands consistency, commitment, and the courage to show up even when hope feels fragile. Persistence is not about blindly pushing forward without reflection. It is about disciplined action, focused intention, and unwavering faith in your ability to overcome. It requires a mindset that sees obstacles not as permanent barriers, but as tests of endurance, a way to refine skills, strengthen resolve, and deepen self-awareness. Those who cultivate persistence do not allow failure to define them. They understand that each challenge overcome adds to a growing reservoir of resilience and self-belief. Over time, persistent action compounds, creating momentum that propels you toward goals that once seemed unattainable. It is in the repeated act of continuing, of refusing to surrender, that ordinary effort transforms into extraordinary results. When you persist, you send a message to yourself and the universe that you are committed to your purpose, that you will not be deterred by temporary setbacks, and that your vision matters. Persistence shapes not only outcomes, but also character. It teaches patience in the face of frustration, courage in the face of fear, and faith in the unseen. Those who embrace persistence discover a profound truth, that the act of continuing, even when progress is slow, is itself a victory, and that lasting success is rarely a product of a single moment, but of countless small, determined steps taken with steadfast commitment. The mind is an incredibly powerful instrument capable of shaping the reality we experience in ways both subtle and profound. The thoughts we nurture, the beliefs we hold, and the perspectives we choose to embrace all influence the way we perceive and respond to life's circumstances. Mindset matters because it serves as the lens through which we interpret every experience, every challenge, and every opportunity. When we allow fear, doubt, or negativity to dominate our thinking, the world appears limited, threatening, or impossible to navigate. Conversely, when we cultivate a mindset rooted in possibility, hope, and resilience, even the most daunting obstacles can be transformed into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Changing our mindset is not about ignoring reality or pretending that hardships do not exist. It is about intentionally choosing how we engage with life's realities. It is the conscious decision to focus on solutions rather than problems, to see setbacks as lessons rather than failures, and to maintain faith in our abilities even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. The mind has a remarkable capacity for creating patterns, repeating the same doubts, fears, and self-imposed limitations unless we intervene. By actively guiding our thoughts toward constructive, empowering perspectives, we begin to reshape those patterns, building new neural pathways that support confidence, resilience, and forward momentum. Affirmations, reflection, visualization, and mindful awareness are all tools that help in this process, allowing us to consciously redirect our energy toward growth and possibility. A mindset grounded in positivity and self-belief does not guarantee that life will be free of challenges, but it equips us to navigate those challenges with clarity and courage. It reminds us that our reactions are within our control, even when circumstances are not. When we embrace the power of mindset, we become architects of our inner world, shaping our perception, emotions, and actions in ways that align with our highest potential. We recognize that obstacles are not permanent barriers, but temporary conditions to work through, that every failure is an opportunity to learn, and that progress is measured not only by outcomes, but by the strength and resilience developed along the way. Ultimately, understanding the importance of mindset allows us to reclaim power over our lives, to consciously choose thoughts that inspire, to resist the pull of fear and negativity, and to cultivate the inner fortitude necessary to persist in the pursuit of our goals, in the pursuit of our dreams and goals. It is easy to become fixated on the end result, the moment of success, the achievement that seems to define our worth or measure our effort. Yet the truth is that transformation and progress are rarely sudden or monumental. They are built step by step, day by day. Every small action, every tiny choice to move forward, carries significance far beyond what we often realize. These small steps are victories in themselves, markers of determination, courage, and commitment to growth. When life feels overwhelming, it is tempting to believe that only grand gestures or extraordinary achievements matter. But persistent, consistent effort, even in modest increments, compounds over time, creating momentum that ultimately leads to meaningful change. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a declaration that you refuse to remain stagnant, that you will not be defined by fear, doubt, or the magnitude of the obstacles before you. Small steps are also vital because they cultivate confidence. When you recognize and celebrate the progress made in tiny increments, you build a sense of self-belief that strengthens your resolve for larger challenges. It is in these seemingly minor victories that resilience is forged, patience is nurtured, and trust in your own abilities grows. The human mind often underestimates the cumulative effect of small actions, yet history and personal experience reveal that consistent effort, sustained over time, produces results far greater than sporadic bursts of intensity. Moreover, focusing on small steps prevents overwhelm and paralysis, turning what might feel like an impossible journey into a manageable and actionable process. Each small effort becomes a stepping stone, bringing you closer to your goals while reinforcing the habit of persistence. It is important to recognize that progress is not always linear. Setbacks may occur and the pace may feel slow. Even so, the simple act of continuing, of taking the next step despite uncertainty, is a victory. Small actions ripple outward, influencing mindset, energy, and opportunities in ways that are often invisible at first. By honoring these incremental achievements, we learn to appreciate the journey, to value perseverance over perfection, and to recognize that greatness is not always the product of a single dramatic moment, but rather the accumulation of many deliberate, determined steps. Commitment to keep going is the cornerstone of personal growth, resilience, and the realization of our deepest aspirations. Life will inevitably challenge us with moments of doubt, fatigue, and frustration, yet it is the unwavering decision to continue moving forward that distinguishes those who achieve their goals from those who give in to discouragement. Commitment is more than a fleeting feeling of motivation. It is a deliberate, conscious choice to persevere regardless of circumstances. It requires embracing discomfort, uncertainty, and the occasional failure, knowing that these experiences do not define us but refine us. To remain committed is to trust in the process, to have faith that each step, no matter how small or arduous, is contributing to your growth and ultimate success. When we commit to keep going, we develop inner strength and resilience, learning to navigate adversity with grace and determination. This commitment is cultivated by aligning ourselves with our values, our purpose, and our vision. It becomes an anchor in turbulent times, reminding us why we started, reinforcing our belief in what is possible, and sustaining us when external validation is absent. Often, people underestimate the power of simply continuing. They may wait for inspiration, ideal conditions, or the perfect moment to act, but life rarely offers perfection. The real power lies in persistence, in the decision to show up consistently, to take action even when motivation falters, and to trust that progress accumulates over time. Commitment transforms challenges into lessons, setbacks into opportunities, and obstacles into stepping stones. It also nurtures self-discipline, cultivating the ability to resist distractions